President Obama is visiting us here in New York State and in my region, though not in my district, in the Hudson Valley, to talk about the Tappan Zee Bridge project. And I sent a letter to the president with a couple of suggestions. Number one, I'm pleased that the Tappan Zee, unlike the Verrazano Bridge, is not going to be built with Chinese steel. We have Indiana, American-made steel from the state of Indiana, which I think is great. I agree we do need to improve our infrastructure in this country. I think the president and the governor, to that extent, are on the right track. And what I'm asking the president to do in my letter is support some common sense legislation in this state that is sponsored by Democrats that will reduce the cost of building the Tappan Zee Bridge, rebuilding the Tappan Zee Bridge, and also reduce the proposed toll. Some of the suggestions for a toll will be $15 across the bridge. You can't do that to working families. Just for them to get to work, they're already in the hole $15 before they buy a car or fill up their gas tank. And these are Democrat bills. One of them is reform the Scaffold Law. Estimates say that the Scaffold Law, which is an archaic law that puts all the liability on the owner of property and on the employer for height-related injuries, even if the worker is negligent. So the worker could come to work drunk and fall off the ladder, and all the liability for his injuries are on the employer or the owner. That's something that is inflating the cost of every project. And when you have a multi-billion-dollar project, a federal and state project like the Tappan Zee Bridge, that's a huge amount, 10% inflation. If we reform that, the number 2 Democrat in the Assembly sponsored a bill to reform it. So I'm asking the president, get behind that bill. Let's reform the Scaffold Law. There's also a number of laws that we have in place in this state that are giveaways to special interests. They make it much better to use union labor versus non-union labor to build big projects. But I think we should get the best work at the best price to build this bridge. Some of that's going to be union, some of that's going to be non-union. That will save the taxpayers money, both federal and state. That will reduce the cost of the toll for working people to go over. I don't know if the president's going to actually read my letter, but we're definitely going to do what we can to bring attention to those things. Like I said, this is an opportunity for bipartisanship, to do right by the taxpayer, to do right by the toll payer, and I hope the president will join me on these Democrat pieces of legislation.